Apple is finally making a number of changes that I was honestly not expecting them to do. So here are 7 of the biggest ones from the past week. Also, we're doing an iPhone 15 giveaway. More details later in the video. And I want to start off with the upcoming 12.9-inch iPad Air. Last week, Russ Young said that the 12.9-inch Air, which based on the recent Apple event invite will be announced on May the 7th alongside the new iPad Pros, will actually include a mini LED display as opposed to the LCD panel that's been so far rumored. Now, this to me was weird, but also some great news. The fact that Apple would be reusing their existing mini LED stock and giving this new Air a far superior display. Plus, this 12.9-inch iPad Air is supposed to be less expensive than the current 12.9-inch iPad Pro, which means that, for the most part, this new Air would literally be a current-gen M2 iPad Pro. It would have the same mini LED display, the same M2 chip, so the only things that it would be missing out on would probably be ProMotion, Face ID, the ultra-wide camera on the back plus LiDAR, and I guess the thinner bezels on the Pro model, which based on the iPad Air's CAD leak, they do appear to be quite thick. So far, so good, right? Well, not so fast, because Russ Young has just tweeted denying this whole mini LED report that he mentioned a week ago, and now he's going back on his word saying that it will be LCD after all. Look, I gotta be honest, I am honestly quite frustrated with the current state of leaks today. I feel like every day things keep changing over and over. In fact, I scripted most of this video excited about the idea that we would get a mini LED iPad Air, only to have to can all of that to just tell you that nope, it's not mini LED, it's back to LCD again. One day, there's definitely no Apple event happening, but then we do get an Apple event. Then Siri in iOS 18 is reported to be powered by the cloud, but then the same sources go back on their words that nope, it will be on device again. So at the end of the day, I think that even the most reliable sources in the industry are not really sure anymore. So that all we can do is take all of this info with a big grain of salt and then use our minds to figure out what makes and doesn't make sense for Apple to do. Like, Russ Young is also stating that there will be another new iPad model in Q4 of 2024 that would have that 12.9-inch mini LED display. So that would be the model using the existing mini LED stock, which may be a more expensive iPad Air or a more affordable iPad Pro. This would of course fragment the lineup even more than it already is, so no, I don't think this is happening at all. If anything, Apple could maybe use that mini LED stock and sell more refurbished M1 and M2 iPad Pros. That would definitely make more sense, but let me know, what do you guys think? Now, I do have a couple of more iPad updates before we move on onto the other products. So it looks like the current retail stock for the iPad Air is running low. Although, interesting enough, the stock levels for the iPad Pro seem to be fine, which means that we would either get the iPad Pros released after the new iPad Airs, or that Apple will continue to sell the existing iPad Pros alongside the new models. And we've also had a number of 12.9-inch iPad Air case leaks. Well, not even case leaks at this point, as you can literally buy them on Amazon right now. Once again confirming that the release is imminent. And what's interesting here is that they seem to ship by Friday the 3rd of May. Now, case manufacturers usually do this. They ship their products a few days before a product gets released, which reinforces this idea that we'll get the iPad Air first, probably just a few days after the 7th of May event. Okay, now this next one isn't really a leak, it's just something that Mark Gurman was saying, which is that Apple should definitely look into launching a low-end iPhone at around $250 to better compete in the low-end market. And I 100% agree with that. The iPhone SE 4, which is launching in spring, is likely going to be much more expensive than the current version. Given that it is changing the design entirely, it is also bringing OLED to the SE for the very first time, and it is also upgrading the camera and so much more. So I think that a price increase from the current $429 to $499 is more than likely here. In which case, the SE4 will be a mid-range phone, which it kind of already is, rather than a low-end one. And for everyone looking for a truly low-end phone, like I'm talking $200, $300 low-ends, like the Redmis and the Pocos, Apple doesn't really have anything like that right now. Which they technically could, if they were to use an older chip, an older design, and an LCD display. So essentially, the iPhone SE 3, Apple could sell this alongside the SE 4 at a lower price, of around $200 to $300. Of course, they could even downgrade some of the components, like a plastic back and so on. And in that case, they would be able to compete in this low-end market. Yeah, I would definitely love to hear your thoughts on this. Now, before I go on to the next update, as promised, here's how you can enter our iPhone 15 giveaway. Simply join our Discord, link in the description, and then go to our competition announcements channel for all the details on how to enter our very first wallpapers competition, where you can submit your pack ideas and have a chance to win an iPhone 15 plus more. And speaking of wallpapers, this week we've launched 2 stunning packs. Blissful Birds by Matthew, which we've launched yesterday, with 10 stunning wallpapers of different bird breeds, all of them in some beautiful colors and of course in 8K as well. And then, earlier this week, we've also launched Alien Aesthetics by Chatham, which is a super minimal pack with an alien spin to it. Again, all designs are in 8K as well, so that you can use them on all of your other devices. And you can find both packs in our app Wallpapers for iOS and Android. Okay, the next update is when it comes to the M3 Mac Mini. Mark Gurman confirms that there would not be an M3 Mac Mini at all. Now, this was pretty obvious, as Mark Gurman had previously reported on the M4 chip launching this year, which I've talked about in this video right here. And the M4 Mac Mini is supposed to be one of the very first devices to have the M4 chip, which means that Apple will of course skip the M3 model and jump straight to the M4, something that they've only done with the iMac, which never had the M2, as it jumped from the M1 straight to the M3. So if you're planning on buying a Mac Mini right now, I would definitely hold off until the end of the year, as the jump from the current M2 model to the M4 would be quite significant. And this one's really unexpected, but apparently Apple has now stopped all manufacturing for their fine woven accessories. This includes iPhone cases, Apple Watch bands, and AirTag accessories. And I'm honestly surprised it even took them this long. In case you don't know, with the launch of the iPhone 15s, Apple replaced all of their leather products with this fine woven material. The idea was to have something that looks and feels as premium as leather, but it is not leather. However, in reality, fine woven was just horrible. Not only could you scratch it permanently by just using your fingernails, but it aged terribly and durability was almost non-existent. In fact, fine woven was so bad that Apple had to famously replace their cases that were displayed in their stores at least once a day, as they kept on getting scratched by people trying them out. So yeah, I'm really happy to see them stopping production for fine woven entirely. I just wonder what they're going to replace it with, as it's pretty obvious that they are not going back to leather anytime soon, or ever. Okay, and one last update, which is on the Apple Vision Pro. Unsurprisingly, the demand has dropped down dramatically, with sales dropping from a few each day, that is per Apple Store, to only a few a week. And this is honestly not surprising to me at all. First, the Apple Vision Pro is still only available in the US, and second, Apple has not released any major updates to it. I mean, sure, visionOS 2.0 will be launching soon, which may include Apple Pencil support, but aside from that, we don't really know anything about it. What we do know is that developers have lost their interest heavily, with less and less apps being launched for the Vision Pro than at launch, which is the complete opposite compared to how the App Store was doing on the iPhone at launch, with more and more developers releasing more apps every single week. And then true VR enthusiasts like Ben Gaskin, who's been one of the biggest fans for the Vision Pro, I remember talking to Ben about a number of use cases at MWC, even he stopped using it because of the lack of apps. So if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about the state of the Vision Pro, I don't know what does. Of course, once it launches in the UK, I will for sure get one. Although, in all honesty, I'm not really sure what type of videos we should make on it, because you've probably seen most of them, and I feel like the general public has lost all interest in the Vision Pro. So yeah, I'm not really sure. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. Of course, stay tuned to the channel for more updates as soon as we have them, and don't forget about that iPhone 15 giveaway. All the details are in the description box down below. I'm Daniel, this is ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.